Welcome to the Make It Happen podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Make It Happen. This is episode 5. I'm joined here on the couch with my good friend, fellow chef, owner of Kitchen Contestant, JR, his business partner, Danny. Very happy to have you guys in town.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, chilling, man. Just pushing through, working, making it happen.
There you go.
Like, the only way.
Giving people a quick little interview. We'll get into intro. We'll get into like all the specifics about, who you are, what you've been doing, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Chef JR. Everybody call me Chef JR Robinson. I've been in the game for about 21 years strong right now. I'm from New York, live in D.C., started Kitchen Contestant. The CRE is the acronym. The C is for the creativity, the R is for the revolution. We started, the A is for the artistry. We culinary artists. And the Y is for the youth because we do a lot in the community with the youth, bringing them up next. Yeah, so it's like everything we do, it means something, and like we're going for impact.
Dropping early gems, I like that.
Yeah, you know the vibes.
He was on Hell's Kitchen. I first came across JR watching him on Hell's Kitchen. What season was it?
That was season 13, the best season ever.
Season 13, Hell's Kitchen. I watched when I first got into cooking, I was like, trying to learn as much as I could. I'm self-taught, unlike yourself.
Yeah,
But I watched all the Hell's Kitchens, and I actually came across you. I was living in D.C. at the time, saw you on there. That's when I first looked you up on Instagram and came across you. This is a long time ago, before we ever met.
11 years.
Yeah, long time, man.
Those were the
We'll get into
days.
the Hell's Kitchen stories and get some background on that. How about you, sir?
Life is good. Danny Crosby, native Washingtonian, born and raised in Prince George's County. Serial entrepreneur. I've been self-employed since 2001. And, been doing pretty well. Life is good. Focused on real estate. Real estate centric. Management firm, development firm. A lot of our stuff is mission-based. But that's how JR and I connected about 2 years ago.
Nice. I was going to ask how y'all guys met.
Yeah. We actually, crazy story.
Mm-hmm.
We actually met. We was both sitting first class going to a friend's birthday party. So I didn't know who he was. We just got off the same
Mutual
stop.
friend?
Mutual friend, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Going to Colombia. And, like me, I'm so used to paying for everything. Everywhere I go is like, I just feel like that's the standard. Like,
I can relate to that.
I'm going to get the bill. So Dan was like, yo, God, you're not even drinking. Like, why you paying for stuff? And he was like, I got tonight. And I'm like, what you do? Like, nobody ever stopped me from paying something, and then we just locked in. And
that's a pro tip for anybody out there that's trying to, network. That's two things one thing that I noticed about both you guys, first time we ever met, we met at Nobu. I had a private room for a friend's birthday.
Yeah.
Danny came in and insisted on paying something on the bill, which I'm not used to having that happen. I like that immediately. And then we were in New York together recently.
Yeah.
We don't know each other that well, but you invited me to, we're not going to say what it is because, it hasn't come out yet, but a pretty dope opportunity for me to be in a room like that with a lot of, highly reputable folks. Yeah. And I appreciate you for that, number one. And then two, you pay for dinner. Nobody ever buys me dinner. So, I appreciate that.
Gotta look, because I always think, like, when you're the leader of your crew, everybody's looking to you. So I'm like, you know what, let me lighten the load. And that's just how I think as well.
That shit helps a lot.
Yeah, and then we building a relationship, so it's not like it's going to be a one-off thing. I don't hang around a lot of people. Like, if you see me, it's probably always just going to probably be with Dan and maybe another person or two. But other than that, I like to stay out the way, stay in the background, and just let everybody else have a good time.
Right.
And, like, kind of study humans. Like, and I feel like since I've been in the game opening restaurants, I will always, like, look at people and say, why do humans think this way?
Right.
And with the restaurant, I was like, you know what? They're nothing but big kids. When you come to a restaurant with your child or a kid, the first thing you do is distract them with a coloring book.
Yep.
So I'm like, as a grown-up, you want to be distracted, but in an adult way. So how can we distract you? You know what I'm saying? Or like a show going on or something to take your mind off of how long the food is really taking to come to your table.
Yeah.
So, I'm just like one of those people that just like to watch people, just watch their movements, pick up, learn little things. Maybe I might overthink it too much, but then a good something good would come out of it.
Where do you think that came from? Is there something that you can point to in your life that made you that way before you got into food?
Before I got into food, I was, you know what? I wanted to be, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a stockbroker, an accountant.
You're from New York, right?
I'm from New York, or a chef.
So people in Virginia never grew up wanting to be a stockbroker. That's got to be like a New York.
I used to read all these books on how to become a stockbroker.
You see people in the suits and stuff.
Yeah, and I didn't want to wear.
right?
Yeah, I didn't want to wear suits or anything, but I was like low. I was like low key a mathematician. Like, so I was like one of those kids that loved math. Like, even going to high school, I was like the only one to graduate out of all my friends. Because in New York, people don't really graduate high school because you get caught up in whatever's going on. So what I would do is I would take summer school in the morning while everybody sleep. Then I would do night school. So in the daytime, I could hang out with my friends while they were cutting school.
Right.
But I already got my credits, but I didn't really say nothing because, you know, it was what it was.
Right.
But then when at the end of the fourth year, I'm the only one graduating. The parents are like, how are you graduating and my kid is not graduating? I'm just like, because I had a plan.
Right.
You know? So I just feel
That's
like
mature though, to have that
And that foresight. Yeah.
at a young age.
And I feel like we still think like that. Like, how can we be the leaders in 10 steps ahead, but then still put our people on and just create like different platforms? Like, even when I met you, I was just like, yo, I could learn a lot from him. Like, he seemed like a solid person. He got his head on straight and he's like making some noise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I come across a lot of people that's making like a lot of money, but like their morals don't be right. I just don't align with them or connect with them on the level where it's just like, I want to be around this person.
And that's what's most important. Because you can make money with people. You can go out and have fun. You can, it's always fun when a lot of money's getting spent. People are drinking. People are eating good.
Yep.
Like that's fun no matter who you with.
Yep.
But the other stuff, like when you get down to the nitty gritty, that stuff's not always fun unless you got the right partner.
Yes,
and I tell like even like when on a relationship side of things, not to shift the topic too much, but it kind of relates. Like if you're dating somebody, it's like it's always fun when you're on vacation or when you honeymoon phase. Like we're eating every night, going out every night. That's great. But what about when we're in the house watching TV, or we got to pay bills, we got to go to the doctor, or we got to go to the grocery store,
or when you got to grind and work?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like in relationships, like, everybody want to put out the good stuff, or, this is my husband or my wife, and we doing X, Y, Z. But at home, y'all going at it like cats and dogs. And it's just like, bro, nobody's perfect.
Right.
Everybody's going through something. I don't care who you are. If you human, you going through something, you've been through something. You might be going through a good time right now, but that's going through something is not bad, but it's good.
Right.
But everybody's going through something, and there's different phases in your life where it's just like you got to grow up, you got to be mature, you got to be real, and you got to be transparent. And I feel like the people that's really successful, they're transparent because somebody could relate to them.
Right.
When nobody can't relate to you, what are you doing?
That's the whole reason I wanted to do the podcast, because I've had a lot of people who are like, I like what you're doing, but you don't. It's tough to like for me to be so forthcoming when it's like we're cooking food. Like I can't like share my life story or show, but so much personality. So I'm looking for ways to like branch out a little bit more. So that's kind of what pushed me to do the podcast. And I wanted to give the opportunity. I have a large platform, and I wanted to give the opportunity to other people to kind of share their story, because people may look up to other chefs or other creators, other business entrepreneurs, whatever, and like want to know more about how they got to where they're at. And it may inspire somebody who's on their come up on the grind, trying to figure out what they want to do with themselves, and they could hear something in this conversation that'll change their life. Like I started doing everything I did because I heard a conversation that changed my life. So I want to be able to, pass that on.
You got to keep reinventing yourself, man.
That's it.
I had this saying, fake it till you make it, but don't forget to make it.
You got to make it.
Because people get so caught up in faking it, it becomes their lifestyle. And, I try to talk to people. I said it's cool to pretend to do X, Y, Z, but then you got to be real with yourself and actually put in that work, put in that money. Like, do right with your money. Do right by the IRS. Like, get that back office team that's gonna hold you accountable. Don't put yourself around people that's gonna let you fail. Like, I don't like to be around a bunch of weak people that's gonna just anything I say, yeah, that's right. Like,
Right.
if we got this sauce, if the sauce is not right, Dan is gonna say, y'all gotta redo it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sit there and say, yeah, like it's good because I made it.
That's perfect. That's honestly why I keep the group these people that's with me, I've known them 10, 15 years, and I keep them around me because they know who I was before all of this stuff happened for me.
Yeah.
So like they know that like we can have a real conversation like hey, you out of pocket. Like you you should you did this and you did that. You gotta slow down. We can have that real conversation, whereas somebody you just meet, they see things are going well, they don't want to rock the boat.
Yep.
They just there because the good times are rolling and they want to keep the fun happening.
Yeah.
But you need real people on your team.
That's why I like my boy Lou too, because we always like, yo, if something is wrong, yo, I'm gonna make you mad real quick.
Yeah.
And that's like how we break the ice. Like, I'm gonna make you mad, but I gotta tell you this.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm really gonna get mad, but I know he about to tell me something that's going
Not ideal.
Yeah, like and 9
That's
times
life,
out of
though.
10, yeah, he's right. It's like, you know what? Dang, you right.
Yeah.
I do need to do XYZ. So it's good to have those people in your corner that really got your back and care about your brand.
Right.
And your family. Because at the end of the day, you embarrassing everybody. Like when
Everybody
you're the
that's
face of
attached
something.
to it.
Yeah.
It's bigger than you. And that's
Bigger
something
than
I
you.
had to realize, like, as things kind of blew up for me, I had to, like, think about the bigger picture. Like, there's people that, you pay their salary. Like, they go home and pay their bills based off of what you do. Mm-hmm. Like, I could fail tomorrow and be poor again and eat ramen noodles and I'll be all right. But there's a ripple effect to that, and I'm not comfortable living with that.
Yeah.
So let's take a step back to, like, when you first started, like what made you get in? You said you wanted to be a stockbroker. Where did you go from there to being a chef? How did that happen?
So in New York, you get to choose the high school you want to go to. They try to treat high school like college. So I didn't get accepted to the finance school.
Okay.
Culinary was my number 2, so I got accepted to the culinary high school.
Was it your number 2, like, just as like a BS, like just choice, or you was genuinely interested?
I was genuinely interested because by that time I was already like hustling, like selling cheesecakes and
okay.
doing the lemonade joint in the hood with the shopping cart and the cooler, making money. So I said, you know what? When I went in my class, like I'm the type of person, I would just think like I can be better than who I was yesterday, and I will always just push myself to just go out and get it. And I was certified by the time I was 16. Like I had my food handler's license and everything. So pies, for Christmas, for holidays. And school actually opened the doors for me to make me love it even more. Even though I got teased when I went back to the block, because you got to think about it. Like in our neighborhoods, we never see men cook.
It's not a masculine thing, at least when we were growing up. Even though most chefs are men.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But in the hood, you on the block every day. You're not watching the cooking channel, so you don't know who's cooking and who's not cooking. You just see your grandmother cooking and your mother cooking. Yeah, you just see women cooking. And back in the day, which is crazy, we never went to restaurants to eat.
Right.
My grandmother never said, all right, tonight I got enough money, we gonna go to a restaurant and eat. Like we ate in the house every day, or it was like McDonald's or the carry out, fast food.
Right.
So once I locked in with that, like I fell in love with cooking, and my grandmother started bringing me in the kitchen with her, and I just wanted to make her proud, because that was our connection, like cooking. And she loved that I loved to cook, so it just made me want to go even harder. And then when I went to college, I got a full scholarship for cooking. And I went into all these contests. Like, I got so many awards, and, like, I was really going ham, like, to the point where people started to notice me, and I was, like, 23 years old, killing it, like, winning food competitions with big-name chefs in it. And even to this day, like, a lot of big-name chefs, they hit me up like, yo, because I'm good at math, I got a party for 100 people. How much brisket should I buy? How much this should I buy? Or what's this? Or I see you got this going on. You know a lawyer, or and I share all my information with everybody. And I feel like the blessings come back, because when I die, I want to be a legend, and I feel like all legends got to leave their gift with the world, with the earth. Like a musician don't just die and not leave music with us, you know? So I feel like even with chefs, if I'm giving you material, a restaurant, a cookbook, a sauce, I'm leaving a part of me on the earth. I'm not being selfish. So I feel like I can be legend because I have things that would carry my name.
That's true, because before we even met in person, I was in New York and I knew you knew Kwame. And Tatiana, you can't get a reservation in there. It's impossible.
Yeah, that's
so I was like,
just talk about that.
And I hate asking people for favors because it's like an ego, pride thing. Like, I just don't do it.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck it, I'm going to ask them.
Yeah.
Then I hit you and you got me the reservation.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, he didn't have to do that. We never even met in person yet.
Yeah.
Like, that was...
Nah, because I'm going to look out for people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, he a good dude. And then we know similar people.
Right.
Because Courtney was like, you got to meet him. You got to be... I was like,
she told me the same thing about you.
I said, all right, cool.
But I hear that about so many people. I be like, all right.
That's why I be like that. I'm like, okay. And then when we actually linked up, I was like, okay, yeah, I rock with him. You know, it was your birthday, right?
It was my friend's birthday.
All right. So, yeah, it was a birthday celebration that I just felt like... I was tired, but I was like pushing myself. I was
you
like,
showed up, though.
I said, let me hang out. Let me go to each party, but tired. I don't know why I was so tired. I don't know what I was going through at the time, but I wasn't myself 100%.
Yeah.
But I was like, we gonna make it work. And then when we went to New York, it was even better. You know what I'm saying?
Time.
Like, so.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so you went to school, you got full ride scholarship, you won some competitions, and then what?
And then my first restaurant that I worked in was a 4-star Thai restaurant in Soho, Manhattan. It was called Kitty Cha. He's actually a famous chef. He was on Iron Chef. And I learned so much. All the chefs there were Japanese. So I was just like a giant to them. I'm 6'4", everybody like 5'3", 5'2". So everybody's like scared of me for real. So nobody wouldn't really correct me because they look like, they would say, if I show you how to do this right, you're not gonna hit me. I'm like, bro, come on, I'm here to learn.
Yeah.
And I was working with this one chef, and he said, if you could keep this white napkin under your cutting board clean, I'll teach you how to clean monkfish. So I would destroy this napkin every day. This joint is black.
Yeah.
And then one day I said, you know what? Let me watch what he do to keep his white. Like, I should have. It took me months to say, why am I not? You know what I'm saying? And then I watched how he moved with finesse, and he had his side towels, and he actually used them.
Right.
And he took his time. He was organized, and I started practicing that. And then, like within like the next 30 days, he came and he was like, all right, now we're going to move on to this. And then once he taught me that, he was like, we're going to put you on the roof to do sushi. So I was like the first black dude doing sushi. So people would come out there to watch me make sushi.
Yeah.
And
you don't see that every day.
Yeah, you don't. So
you look like you could play for the Wizards or something.
And they thought I was a basketball player. Like, yo, he's 6'4". And back then I was like athletic build because I was like 21, 22 years old.
Right.
And then from there, I came out here. I used to come out here for the summers. Then I got a job at the Ritz Carlton. So I was like a line cook there at the Ritz Carlton. And then from the Ritz Carlton, I went to Blue Duck Tavern. We were top 3 in the city at the time.
In DC?
In DC. And I cooked 24/7, bro. Like, I am not lying. I worked the morning shift, the night shift. If you called out overnight, I'm working your shift to the point where they was like, yo, you got to clock out. And I'm like, I loved it there. Like, I did not want to go home because the chef was teaching us so much. All he cared about was food. He didn't care about human life. He was like, I respect the food more than life.
He was the head chef?
He was the chef de cuisine. And I learned so much from him, and I feel like the whole team did. Like, he taught us, like, how to really work as a team. If one mess up, we all mess up.
Right.
If your station is trash, everybody got to start over. And when we left him, everybody that left that restaurant became a big chef somewhere or a restaurant owner. Mm-hmm. So, like, I really appreciated working there. And then, opening your own restaurant, people don't tell you the things you got to go through to open a restaurant. It's so many different obstacles you have to, go through just to open your doors to put food on somebody's table.
Right.
For them to try to criticize it, you know.
That's a whole new, and it's getting worse now. Like everybody
crazy.
with an iPhone now can be a food critic.
And with me, you know, culinary arts, food is an art. So I always say before you go somewhere, learn about the chef. Learn what his style is. Learn who he is. Because it's just like art. Like some people might call, oh, this is ugly, because they don't understand the artist. Once you understand the artist, the chef, then you can appreciate what he's bringing you.
Right.
When you're going in there with a closed mind and don't understand the chef or the artist, of course you're going to think something tastes a certain way because you don't know his style.
Or your palate's not developed. Like you might be eating at Applebee's and now this is your first time at an omakase sushi experience. It's like you're not ready yet. You gotta start
baby
at
step it.
Yeah, you gotta work your way up to that. You don't go from a California roll to hamachi.
nigiri,
Like you gotta work your way up.
Gotta work your way up. And you gotta actually study and understand what's going on. Because if you did a little research, you wouldn't say something tastes nasty. You would say, oh, this is what I thought it would taste like.
Yeah, or what you don't like about it. It's too acidic, it's too sweet, it's too
Because
this,
if I
it's too
say,
that.
hey, this sauce is sweet, tangy, or whatever, and you try it, and it's sweet and tangy, you're like, oh, this is what I thought it would taste like.
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't know and you expecting the hot sauce and you tasting and it's sweet tangy, you're like, this is nasty. I thought it was going to be hot sauce. Because you didn't take the step to actually learn about what you put in your
same
body.
philosophy could be applied to almost everything in life.
Everything.
Like,
In business.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
People don't take the time to learn.
don't take the time.
Much. Like, and the crazy thing about it is we have more information easily accessible to us now than ever before. Before, you had to go to the library, get an encyclopedia, look some shit up. Now you got the power of like all the knowledge in the world in the palm of your
I
hand.
can learn whatever I want to learn about you by typing in your name.
And people just don't take
don't
the time
do it.
to do it.
You can do a whole story and tell people exactly what to do, and they still say, "How do I do it?"
Yeah, do it for me. That's
And
really
it's
what they're
like,
saying.
They don't read.
I told you the time, the date, the address, and the first thing you asked me, what time does it start? Where is it? Then the next question, what's the date? It's just like, do y'all even like use your eyes and your brain for something, please? And I'm not trying to disrespect nobody,
It's true though.
but it's just like the world we live in is trash because nobody wants to do nothing for themselves, like take the extra step. And that's all it takes is like just take a little extra energy to say, let me just see what's going on. Oh, perfect. This is what I want to do. I think I would like this. Or say, this is not for me before you even go in.
Yeah.
For example, if you don't like loud music, why would you go to a nightclub and then complain that the music was loud
Right.
and that it was dark? It's just like, and that's what these critics do.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've been doing it for so long. It's acceptable because I used to hear like comedians talk about critics. Like, why would you come to you don't understand my jokes or understand
Yeah, if
me.
you don't like foul language, why would you come
and you're
to my
in here
show?
rating me
Right.
and you're a PG rater. Like, no, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't even.
This isn't for you.
Yeah. so-
Everything's not for everybody.
Exactly. So that's why I don't really get mad. Like a lot of restaurant owners, I remember when I first opened my first spot, I used to read every review and I used to be mad and I used to type up stuff and then delete it just to get it off my chest. But then I started to realize, I'm like, the revenue didn't change. I still have my core people. They understand me.
Your
They
audience will
understand what I'm
find
doing. Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm doing the right thing. And I can have 1,000 people come. If 2 people complain, I'm focusing on why they complain instead of celebrating the success.
That same thing happens in social media. Like we'll have a post, a recipe, 400 comments positive, 2 people leave a throw up emoji, and you're like, you wanna
like,
cuss them out. Like what's the problem? But you ignore all of the love that you get. Like your restaurants, I've been to your restaurant, it's packed. Like it's always packed. Mm-hmm. But that one negative review, the fish was cold or whatever, it's like,
And I tell people, I'm like, we are not perfect. You might get
nobody's perfect.
when you go into a busy spot, something might take too long, something might come out wrong.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is let us fix it before you leave.
That's it.
If you don't give us a chance to fix it, then I can't really respect you or value your opinion because I know we're not perfect. You're not telling me something new.
Yeah.
Oh, that happened? Oh, that happens in the finest restaurants in the world.
Right.
It can happen. But what did you do? Did you speak to a manager? Did you give us a chance to redeem myself?
And the thing about it is, people in the kitchen that care about what they do, they want to fix it. They don't want a bad dish to go out with their name on it. Like if I fuck something up, I want to like put my full focus into making that right.
Yep.
So like it's okay to comment on if something's not right or you get the wrong thing or whatever the case may be, whatever the issue is. It's okay to address it and have it corrected.
You might do a post like, hey, we doing the event. The last one was too busy. We didn't even get in. I'm not wasting my time.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry.
Like, what you want me to say? That you come earlier? Like,
they want me to let me? I'm gonna walk out there and hold your hand and walk you to the front of the line and treat you like
I've been doing
Princess
this so long.
Diana. Like
I heard it all, seen it all.
Man,
and now
you can't please everybody.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
nothing could really like I feel like can phase me now that I'm learning like more self-aware and learning more about myself and learning more about my history. You know, taking mental therapy. Me and Dan, like we do the therapy thing. You know,
I need to get into that.
Yeah, and I feel like once you get on a higher level where you can't really talk to people because they might use you opening up to them against you. Right. In your weakest moments, everything is confidential. Mm-hmm. So it's just like you can let it out. And I just did counseling today, and you know the counselor was just talking about how men just hold everything in, and it's just like it's killing you. When you burying yourself in that, you gotta let it out. So you gotta let it out.
That's a fact.
Yeah, and there's such a negative stigma on mental health and therapy. Change the wording. I consider it my thought partner.
Yeah.
I have somebody that I have a confidential thought partner, helps me organize my thoughts, gives me guidance on some of the motivations and why I may think the way I do. And it just helps us become more self-aware.
That's well put. And it's not necessarily that I don't want to do it. Like it's something that I know I need. And I've like actually called multiple people and none of them called me back. Maybe they're too busy or they're booked up.
We'll refer the group that we work with.
Please.
Absolutely.
Or they know who you are. Because a lot of people, they feel like if they're a fan, they can't talk to you. So that was my issue, too. Because as soon as they found out, oh, that's you? My sister worked for you.
I was at the bank today for a business bank meeting, blah, blah, blah. She's like, and I guess her son knew me. And she's like, can I take a selfie with? I'm like, we're supposed to be talking about my finances here, and you want to take a picture. Now I'm uncomfortable. You looking at all my money and all the things I'm doing, or where I spent my money and what I did with, what like all of that stuff. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's why I like to work with, like, not trying to be funny, but people that don't have like big followings when I'm doing like getting certain services. Yeah. Because I'm like, all right, I know you don't care about that, like, right, or you're not trying to expose nothing or look for something to say, look, you know, and that's what I look for, too. I'm like, let me see your Instagram. Because if you're out there wilding, like, nah, I can't. Right. And I used to have talks with myself, like look at myself in the mirror and say, what you posted yesterday on your story, did that inspire you? You know, like sometimes like you get drunk and you in the moment. And then you wake up in the morning like, yo, that was me. That. Yeah, so it's just like, shout out to Instagram for close friends, because, you know.
Or like Twitter, I used to be real bad about like tweeting something in the moment, and then tomorrow I'm like, oh, I got to delete that for sure.
And it's already out there.
Right, and people probably screenshot it.
At least with the close friends, the 10 people you got in there, they on your level, they know the vibes, you know, they know what it is. It's, y'all inspire each other, y'all push each other, you trust those people in there. Right. So I'm glad that they thought about that.
But it's important because as you elevate, as we elevate, you know, we need to be more thoughtful of our actions. Right. Because we're impacting more than just ourselves.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. And then when we talk about alignment and collaborations, we have to be discerning. We have to be discerning. We have to make sure that we know that our value in our brand and be discerning in how we align with that.
Right. I said something the other day to a friend of mine. We were talking about like writing down our goals and things like that, and how do you organize your like time management, basically. Mm-hmm. And I had to take my own advice because I was talking to him. we had a conversation. Like at the beginning of the year, everybody's talking about what they're going to do, new year, new me, writing down my goals, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, the exercise you should do, like a thought experiment, just sit down and like, what do you care about the most? Like, who do you want to be? What's most important to you? Write that down first. Top 3, 5 things that's most important to you. Mm-hmm. And then look at how you spent your time last year. Is how you spent your time and your resources, does that align with what's most important to you? Most of the time it's not. Everybody will say, I want to be healthy. Yeah. I want to have a good relationship with my wife. I want to have a good relationship with my kids. I want to, save money. And they're like, what did you do last year? Oh, I went to parties. I ate junk food. You didn't do anything that you said is most important to you. So like, I think that's a good thought experiment for everybody to do, is to like identify what's important to you and then make sure that your resources and your time aligns with that.
Yeah, be intentional with what you're doing. Like,
because we only got 24 hours in a day, and our lifespan is short. No matter how long we live, we can live to 100. It's still not that long.
50 summers left.
That's it.
About 50 summers left. I'll be 40 this year. And when I do my goals, I would do have a plan on how to get to my goal, like how to achieve that goal.
Action plan.
Yeah, and then once I achieve it, what's the next goal? And then once I achieve that, how can I give back to my community? What can I take away from my life that I feel like is making me suffer, or something that I feel like that I need that's not good? Like some people might say, I gamble too much. So now you got to make that sacrifice. Can you go gambling without a whole year to sacrifice to reach your goals, your money goals?
Right.
And just really hold yourself accountable, be intentional, and then put the people around you that's going to hold you accountable too. And just, elevate and succeed and actually kill your goal. Because once you put it on your brain, you start working towards it without you even knowing every day. Because I heard Joey Badass, I was looking at his Instagram, and he was like, prayer is a way to put something in the universe to try to manifest it. Like whatever you're saying to the universe, to God, you're praying for it, and then it's on your mind and you just start working towards it. So it made me think, like, you know what? That makes sense. Like whatever you putting out and you just start working towards it, like without even thinking about it, and then putting yourself in positions and around people to get to where you need to be. And the people around you, you can bring them with you if they want to go. Because you can't force people to do something that they're not or that they don't want to be, because everybody don't see your vision. Everybody don't want to live your dream or your life. Some people are like, I'm good at this level right here. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.
And we need those people.
Yeah.
Those people serve a very important purpose in the world. Yeah. And you said something, accountability to me, discipline and accountability are the two things that'll take you wherever you want to go in this world. Mm-hmm. And they're tough. Like it's tough to hold yourself accountable, look yourself in the mirror,
to that
like
gym every day.
And eating right. It's like, all right, well, yeah, I go to the gym, but my diet's been shit.
Trash. Yeah.
That's why I haven't lost the 15 pounds. My goal was to lose 15 pounds. It's 3 months later. I haven't lost but 3 or 4 pounds. It's because of these things. Most people are making an excuse for themselves. It's like, oh, well, it was my birthday. It was Valentine's Day. It was this. It was that.
Yeah.
Discipline and accountability. Those two things intertwine. You can go wherever you want.
Yep. And as hard as it is to do as an individual, that's why we have accountability partners.
Yeah.
That's why no
one got to this couch by themselves. I didn't get here by myself.
Yeah.
You didn't sit there by yourself.
Yeah.
It took a team. It took support. It took your community. And once you understand that, then you pour back into it.
That's it.
And that's how I see it.
Then you start motivating people. Like so many other chefs, like, yo, tag me in that too.
Yeah.
Because if you going to the gym, then I need to get up and go to the gym.
Right.
Just
that's why I post it, and I shouldn't, because I should, but like the gym that I go to in this area, it's a popular gym. Yeah. So like now people will go to this gym now, like, oh, I saw you posted it. I came and like, tell me about the lamb chop recipe. I'm like, oh shit. But it's dope to inspire people, and like that's why I show some of the stuff that I show, because I want to do that, because I need the motivation too.
Right.
Everybody needs motivation.
Yo, when I see y'all going to the gym, I'm like,
let me get up.
Right. Get up. They are in the gym too.
I got to go twice now, because
I'm just like, and then I start tagging y'all. I'm like, all right.
I'm competitive too, so like I want to like
keep
do more.
Because I see you said part 2. I'm like, oh, he going twice. I'm good.
So tell us, all right. So what led you to the Hell's Kitchen show?
That's a crazy story. I was in D.C., right? and I get a call like they doing the Hell's Kitchen, but they'll bring you on if you come to New York. So I was like, I just gotta come to New York. The lady said, yo, come to New York. It's like 4 people. Went to New York, did the audition. Within 2 days or 3 days, I was in LA. Most people, it takes months.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did different or who knew me out there. Excuse me. I just started Kitchen Cray, so it was just like...
You had just opened your first restaurant?
I didn't open a restaurant, but I just started Kitchen Cray as a company.
Oh, okay.
And we were doing this thing called kitchen takeovers, where we come into your kitchen and turn whatever you have in your fridge and your cabinet to a 5-star meal. And when we started, we was turning Lunchables into creme brulee. And it was fun. It was crazy. By the time we got to the 5th house, lamb chops, lobster, because they knew we were coming.
Yeah.
But I went down there. I did the interview. Ended up in L.A. And it's a crazy process because while you out there in L.A., you in the room and they give you a packet. And I think it's like 100 questions or maybe 1,000 questions because they want to see if you can finish something. If you can start it and if you can finish it.
It makes sense because it's a long process.
And they ask you the same question 1,000 times in a different way. And I'm just like, and you got 2 weeks to finish this because it's a lot. Then you got to see a psychiatrist. And you go see the psychiatrist because you see a lot of people, they get depressed. They start committing suicide. Like they start seeing stuff and hearing things.
So you're locked in there. You don't have access to your phone, or how does that work?
They take your phone. They take everything from you.
How long is the full?
It depends on when you get eliminated.
Right.
For me, it was like a month and a half. And when you go in,
You do see a lot of mental breaks on Hell's Kitchen. Like
yeah,
people
it's
really
like
lose
when
it.
you see them people breaking down, that's real because they ain't see their family in like 2 months.
Yeah.
So you see your mother walk through the door, you like, you know, you're alive.
Like imagine I got a 5-month-old kid and you haven't seen him.
Yeah.
in
And you
2
got to think
months.
about it on Hell's Kitchen. When you there, we can't listen to music, can't watch TV because you don't know when it's going to air. So they don't want to mess it up to make it seem like, oh, that was filmed 10 years ago. You know,
Man, that's
so
traumatic.
it was a lot. And then when y'all watching the show, we sleeping on twin beds, bro. Grown people,
6'4".
5 people in the room, different backgrounds.
That's tough.
Like, you watched my episode. The first night, we ain't have no hot water. People in there stink, bro. Like, we in there taking cold showers. Like, it was hell. And all the walls are like, I guess are like glass because they got cameras looking at you. You're not getting no sleep. If you do go to sleep, they don't cut the lights off until the last person get in the bed.
Damn.
So you sitting there every day. I was just like, yo, send me home. Like, I didn't know it was like this. Send me home. And the producer's like, no, it doesn't work like that. You just can't go home. You got to mess up. So I was like, all right, say less. And I just stopped caring after a while. Like, Gordon's like, man, you just don't care. Because I just didn't care. Like, if I'd have had the mindset I had now back then,
How old were you when you did that?
I was 29.
Okay.
And I'm 39 now.
So 10 years ago you was on
10 years ago. And I just started Kitchen Cray. So I'm like, I need to go home.
Get back
I don't
to
know
work.
what's going on with my business. You know,
Right.
like, we just got started having a little buzz. So I was like, as long as I don't get eliminated first, I'm good.
Right.
So I made it to like round 4. I was happy with that. If you look at anybody that was on my season, what are they doing now? So it doesn't matter if you get eliminated first or if you win the show. It's all about what you do with that 15 seconds. And I feel like a lot of them, when they leave these shows, they are not prepared for the world.
Right.
They think everything is going to fall in their lap. In your contract, it says you can live your life how you were living it before you went on the show. So before I went on the show, I made sure I did some media on the news so I don't have to ask permission. Can I go do a news interview? A lot of them never did that. So they would get everything they wanted to do, it got rejected. So like when people want to go on these shows, they really got to read the contracts. And back then, it's like you signing off on the contract where it's just like, yo, we own everything you do for the next 5 years, because the show know I'm getting 20 million views. You came here with nothing. So anything that you get is going to be because you said you was on the show.
Yeah.
So that's why you never see me really saying I was on the show or have it in my bio or this and that, because I'm just like, that's not what made me. You know,
Right.
like I always was going to be lit because I didn't win the show and I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? And the person that won the show or that won any of these seasons, what are they doing?
Right.
What type of life are they living? Like, do we hear about them? Do we even see, you know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes they reach out to me and I'm just like, shit, you won the show. Like,
That's a gem though, because a lot of people ask me why I haven't been on any of these cooking shows, and I've turned down at least 4 or 5 of them because of the contracts. Like there's language in the contracts that's so restrictive. It just doesn't make sense for somebody that's in my position from a business perspective. If I didn't have what I had going on business wise,
yeah,
it would be a more appealing opportunity, but it just doesn't make sense for me to do it. Like if you're somebody that doesn't have any products for sale, you don't have, any, ad money coming in, you don't have a infrastructure in place, then
Go
go
for it,
for it. Knock yourself out. I hope you win.
Yeah.
Kill it. But for me, like I'm not gonna sign off on not being able to do things because I'm on your show.
Yeah.
Like I don't need your show. I would like to do a show.
Now, certain shows, they let you, like, I would feel like Top Chef. I would do that show.
Okay.
Because it seemed like the chefs that do Top Chef, they branch off and do their own thing.
do
They
things,
stay
yeah.
active. But these other shows, when it's just one-off,
It's probably who's in
It
charge. And the problem is these fucking media executives that work for Fox or work
Yeah.
for whatever that don't have an Instagram following. Nobody knows who they are, and they're calling all the shots.
Yeah.
But they don't have any understanding of the business or what we actually have to go through outside of that show.
Yep.
Nor do they care what's going on.
And you got to think about the contract be like over 100 pages.
Who's reading all that?
It's no way you reading 100
And most of these people don't have a attorney that
Attorney.
works with them.
So you sitting there like, this is the greatest
This
opportunity
is my
of my
first. I
life.
get to be on TV.
Yeah.
Nobody even watches TV anymore.
Nobody watches
Meanwhile,
TV
you're giving away the
anymore.
farm just to get on TV.
On a show that nobody like, people watch it, but
Nobody's gonna-
if you got a good social media following, you might get 15, 20 million views a month. That show, depending on what show it is, they
Yeah.
might not get 15, 20 million views a month.
Yep. And you,
So
you
you're
gotta-
better
you gotta
off
think
in
about
certain
it.
instances.
Back then, TV was popping because it wasn't.
10
social
years ago,
media.
TV was the thing.
We watch TV.
That was
Now,
the platform. No, it's
Nobody
not.
has cable anymore. TV doesn't exist.
nobody, like, if I'm watching TV, it's going to be like a Netflix show, a classic. Or,
I'm talking about, like, when I say TV, I mean cable
yeah,
television.
nobody's watching, not unless it's a basketball, a sporting.
Right.
Like.
Sports alone is keeping cable television alive right
Yeah.
now.
Facts.
Not for long either, because YouTube just bought the rights to the NFL. Not the rights to the NFL, but they're the platform that's being, like, Sunday Ticket is through
Yeah.
YouTube now.
Oh, wow.
Cable television is gonna die very
Yeah.
soon.
Yep.
So that's why I wanted to
It's
build
just
what
like
I'm
gas
trying to build.
And oil.
Yeah.
Everything is so. But you know what was funny? I went to the gas station and I seen like a whole bunch of Teslas lined up waiting for a charge. So I'm just like, I go in, take me 2 minutes, get my gas, and I'm gone. They're waiting in line for hours just to charge. And I was talking to one of my friends. She said, yeah, like, that's how it is when you have a Tesla. Like, you might be sitting there waiting for an hour or two just to charge. Then you got to do the supercharger, take like 20 to 40 minutes. One of my boys got an electric car. A 4-hour trip took him 12 hours.
Get it charged 6 times.
And I'm
Yeah.
just like,
Hard pass.
yeah, I'm just like, this is like, what are we going to do with this issue? Because they saying by, 2030, all cars have to be electric.
Depends on who's the president and who's in charge of making the
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't want to get into all of
It's-
that.
Yeah, it's
Nobody's
getting
crystal
crazy.
ball is perfect.
No.
That far out, it's everybody's guess.
Who knows?
It's
Then there's
crazy.
other countries like well, I don't want to get into all that, but there's other countries, I won't say who, they don't have any restrictions on their fossil fuels. They're opening more plants. They're doing all of it, and they have way more a higher population than us, and they got no restrictions. They're just running it up, trying to take over the world.
Yeah,
you just got to pick your battles a bit. So, what makes sense?
So when you started cooking, what made you like say this is something I want to do? Like, you just like, and on top of that, say, you know what, I'm not gonna go to school. I'm gonna do it myself.
So that's a good question. So I originally started cooking because I moved out when I was like 17, and I got my first apartment, and I didn't have money to eat out, so I was like, I gotta cook.
Figure this out.
So you just trying to make stuff that you could eat and save money, and then we in my neighborhood. Well, in high school we threw parties. We threw all the high school teen parties, and then we threw parties and like the college age once we graduated high school. So we would pregame in my apartment before we would go out to the club. People would come over, they would eat. They're like, oh, this is good. And like, oh shit, it's good. Like I didn't know it was good because I never was confident enough to let anybody try the food. And then once people start telling you that it's good, it's like, oh, maybe. I think everybody looks for what's their thing. So like once people started telling me that the food was good, I was like, okay, well maybe I'm good at this. So I started to like get more passionate about it and like try to get better at it. I got a pretty addictive personality, so like once I get into something, I want to master it. So like that's why I don't get into golf and shit like that, because I'm gonna be on the golf course 40 hours a week trying to figure out how to get really good at this thing. So that's how I got obsessed with just getting better and better at cooking. And I had kind of like a negative perception about going to college just in general, because I went to community college. I didn't have a lot of money growing up. I didn't have any family that could help me. I didn't get any scholarships. So it's like I was going to have to pay for school out of my pocket, and I just didn't want to be broke. So like I was working 2 jobs, just trying to like pay for my apartment and then throw student loans on top of that. Just didn't make sense. And I just didn't want to go to college. So like I felt like a lot of the stuff, unless you're trying to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a neurosurgeon or something, like you got to go to school for that. But if you want to learn how to cook, like you can learn how to cook. I may not learn how to like be a Michelin star chef by teaching myself, but I can get good enough that I didn't want to be necessarily a chef at a restaurant, but I just wanted it to be my thing. It was a hobby for me at the time. And then once social media kept growing, I got a job in sales at Capital One. I was working for the bank. I learned a lot about sales and marketing, and I was like, oh shit, I could take my passion and my hobby and monetize it and apply all of these principles that I learned from corporate America and kind of like marry those 2 things together, and then it was off to the races. But I'm the type of person, like I feel like how you do anything is how you do everything. Like I want to be good at what I'm doing. Like there's a lot of, I don't want to like throw salt on people. Like I don't knock how people make money or what they're doing or how they build their following. Not everybody is that passionate about what they're doing. Like people don't take the time to really learn their craft. I'm the opposite. Like I want to learn as much as I can. Like I genuinely care about learning how to be a good chef. Like I want to learn how to be a good cook. I want to make things from scratch. I want to learn all of that. That's important to me.
Because I feel the same way about school, man. I feel like college got about 10 more years to make money off of people, because these young kids are making
They're raking it in right now.
A young age is like, well, why would I go to college to sit in these classes and not ever use what I'm learning in there?
Every friend that I had, because I always hung out with people that are older than me, so everybody I knew that went to college, none of them did the shit they went to college for. So I'm like, all right, so you're $50,000 in debt. You're making $35,000 a year. The shit just, the math wasn't adding up. You said you're a math guy. I was like, it doesn't take much for me to
when I went to college,
that doesn't make sense.
I said, yo, if I can't get a full scholarship, I'm leaving before I graduate. And they started creating these programs, and they didn't want me to leave. They was like, no, because we actually helped create the culinary program at Monroe College. Our first class was at a bottom of a restaurant, because we really got a group of students together to create this. Now they have one of the biggest culinary facilities in New York. So like just seeing that, and I used to go back and speak to the students. They would have my pictures up on the wall, like, because I felt like I changed the game. When I was in culinary school, they said the most you would make is $80,000 a year if you're an executive chef and this and that. And then in 2016, I sold $4 million worth of food. And I told them, I said, I'm not gonna make that. That's what you make. That's what
Right. Don't put your limits on me.
Don't put it on me. I said, I hear you and congratulations, and y'all can do whatever y'all want. But I was always that kid in the class, like, I'm gonna do better than that. I'm like, I can do whatever I put my mind to. You know, I made it here without any help, so I can do whatever I put my mind to. And once I started, building the right relationships, it's gonna put you in doors where money can't even get you. Because even once you start making money, you could just be a person that make money, but can't really elevate or do anything with it because you don't have no relationships. Like, you an a-hole to everybody, you cocky, you feel like your shit don't stink, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like I'm always like a calm person. Like, people could come to talk to me. I'm always willing to help out. Like even when I came to you about the tour situation, I'm just like, yo, let's add that component. And when we could put somebody through culinary school or feed a men's shelter or, give back to that community. And we had this thing called positive peer pressure. Even like when we work out, I feel like that's positive peer pressure because I'm just like, he's making himself healthy. I need to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's feeding his community. I need, I don't care how much money you make. What impact are you making in your community or in someone's life? So that's always my mindset.
Because once you get out of the not the rat race, but like I tell people or friends of mine, like once you get to a point where you're not stressed about money anymore, your life's completely different. You're like born again at that point. Like when you're not worried about how to pay this bill, that bill, and like you're not worried about like how much dinner costs.
It's called auto pay.
Yeah. Like once that concern is off the table, you're a whole new person, and now you can live a completely different life. So, and being able to give back and help other people, for sure, it could go the wrong way.
I always tell people, it's two things. Your vision has to be greater than the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
When you're in the mud, in the dirt, and then once you rise above that, your vision has to be greater than the temptation that's about to come.
That's a fact.
Because
that's exactly what I was just about to get to.
The temptation is going. Now you have the power to do the things that you always dreamt of doing. So
they say money doesn't change people, makes them more of who they already are.
Exactly.
So just make sure that you have your core aligned with.
Make sure you stay locked in with that vision, whether you in the struggle or you successful. Like, just always have those morals and those, like, have that foundation.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of guys, they get so caught up in the money part, they forget everything. And it's just like,
it's not all about money. Once you get to a certain level of money, unless you're like mega rich buying yachts and private jets and shit, like, you can all eat at the same places, wear the same clothes, drive the same car. Well, not the same car. You got a pretty nice car, but like, you can drive nice cars, you can wear nice clothes, you can eat at nice restaurants.
You could do kind of what you want to do.
For the most part, you can live the same life for the most part.
And it's just like, I've been with people that feel like, since I'm making more money, this person is beneath me. And I'm just like, you might be in a situation tomorrow where you need help.
For sure.
But the way your attitude is going, nobody's going to want to help you.
Or that janitor might be somebody tomorrow.
Yeah.
You never know. You treat everybody with respect if they deserve it. You treat them with respect initially, and then after that, you got to earn it afterwards.
Exactly.
I'm going to give you the respect that I want when I meet you. And then I try to, like you said earlier, you kind of scope the scene, identify somebody's character, then I treat you accordingly. But initially, I'm going to give you the respect that I feel like I will want in return.
Because once I see people acting a certain way, I kind of like, nah, I don't want to be around this.
Absolutely.
Because I get invited to a lot of things that I don't go to, and they like, why you never come anywhere? And it's just like, I saw the guest list, and I don't feel comfortable around certain people and certain things because, once you go up that ladder, people start talking shit about you.
For sure.
And then they want to smile in your face and take pictures and then treat you a certain way and then try to stab you in your back. They try to like lure you in close to like tear you down.
Yeah.
Try
And
to
this
get
is the
stuff out of
crabs
you.
in the barrel mentality. Like, people don't want to see. Like, a lot of times, your biggest supporters don't be the people that you grew up with, or the people from your neighborhood, or people from your city. It's a stranger.
Yeah.
I got a guy, like, we did a event one time in L.A. or outside of L.A.
Yeah.
Dude I never met in my life. He supports everything I ever did. He drove like 2 hours to come meet us and chop it up. I'm like, damn, like, I got people that I've paid their bills before that won't buy a product from me, don't repost my shit, don't like nothing.
Bro, people
you
that
slept
I
on
don't
my
mess
couch.
with.
Like, I've done so much for you, and you don't show me any
People
support.
that I don't mess with, they know I don't mess with them.
Yeah, me too.
100%.
I make it very,
and I talk shit
very
about
clear.
them, and I talk shit about them to their face. And I ain't trying to start nothing, but I just don't. If I don't mess with you, you gonna.
There's
know
usually
I
a
don't mess
reason,
with you.
though.
Yeah, and
Like,
it's a reason.
it's
And
a
it's
valid
something
reason
that you did, and you really burnt the bridge with me. And it's just like, I'm not gonna take money out of your pocket or anything, but we know we don't mess with each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
and
fair.
It'll be clear. And it's like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's just certain people, and it's not a lot of people. It's just a few. Like, cause I don't really harp on things, and you know, a lot of things don't get under my skin. But you know, it's just a few people out there in the world that you like. This
No, for
mug
sure.
is wilding. You know?
And I gotta, I'm petty. Like, I hold up. It's something I need to go to therapy and talk to my, what'd you call it?
Thought partner.
Thought partner
Yeah.
about. Is I'll hold a grudge. It's people from third grade that I like. If I see you, I got a problem with you because
Yeah.
of something very small. Like, I'm bad about that. That's something
Yeah.
I need to work on.
And
I
bad
call it,
business.
I call it the voicemail graveyard.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
going into the voicemail. You
Yeah,
got
for
a
sure.
tombstone in the voicemail graveyard.
But it's like doing bad business with people. It's just like, if we do something and I say, yo, Matt, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep my word.
Right.
And nobody could ever say, yo, he put his name on something and didn't show up or didn't perform. They going to say, yo, we got more than what we paid for.
That's it.
Every time I
Leave
do
people
something.
better than you found them.
And people always love that about me. Even the people that would talk shit about me or hate me, they invite me out because of that reason. They
Yeah.
like, I don't like him, but I got to respect what he do.
That's
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
You may not like me, but you're going to respect me.
Right.
And how
That's
I
it.
execute and deliver.
Yep.
All right, so you left Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
You opened Kitchen Cray. How many restaurants now?
We have 2 and 1 on the way. We ended up closing 1 down in D.C. due to, like, it's a big story out there. Racism.
I read it.
The ANC. And it's a lot. They doing a lot of black businesses dirty in D.C. Like, I just had a voice. So once I started talking about it, it kind of went viral. All the news stations started picking it up. And then you just seen a whole bunch of other black owners like, hey, I'm dealing with that too.
Yeah,
I'm
but they
dealing
just
with
don't
that
have the
too.
same platform or
They
the
don't have
voice.
the platform. And it's like the ANC, they don't want to get to, I will always tell them, I'm a nice person. If I'm your neighbor, come, let's get to know each other. Because you can come and get my number, and if you have a complaint, I can fix it right there within that hour.
Yeah.
How they were doing it was, go past me, submit it to somebody. By the time it gets to me, it's already 2 weeks. So you already hate me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know this is bothering you. Because it
Communication.
It took 2 weeks to get to me when you could have just came to me and I could have fixed it in a few minutes.
Right.
So that's like the gap that's going on with the communication gap with like the ANC and restaurants. Because it's just
What's
like,
the ANC for people that don't know?
what is it called?
It's a area neighborhood commission. So it's like a local
Yeah.
civic group.
Like an HOA for businesses.
Yeah, they volunteers too, which is crazy. I'm like, y'all out here volunteering. It's like the person
like an HOA.
they get.
perfect.
It's like the ticket person,
Ah.
but they don't get paid. It's just like, why are you putting the ticket on my car, bro? Like, you enjoy doing this?
Yeah.
Like, it's like they go to restaurants. You enjoy shutting down black restaurants in your community because you don't want us here. And then when we pull,
And oftentimes it's probably because your restaurant is more busy than theirs, or
and that's the thing.
it's
more
more
the ANC is
popular things
nothing
are going
but
on.
it's probably like one black person that sit on the board, so they would be quiet. It'd be like white, Asian, other race, whatever, and then one black person that's quiet. So like in DC, it was Chocolate City at one point, and I'm just like, I'm bringing something that people love. We keeping the neighborhood safe,
Providing jobs.
and
To the tax basis.
then you're gonna go around and write a statement and say, I'm bringing down the neighborhood because we the way his clients dress.
It's a restaurant.
I'm like, what? It's a restaurant, and two, these guys like work for the mayor's office. Like, you don't even know what they do.
Yeah.
Just
And
because they
judging
got on
people
the
based
sweat,
on how they dress
just because
is
they got on the
ridiculous.
sweatsuit or something that they think looks nice and you don't like it, how is that wrong? Like, if you would have read this statement, I was just like, and it's on the government official site, and I'm just like, post it on social media to see what the people say. And they got mad at me. And I'm just like, all I did was take it off the government site, which anybody can
Public
see.
knowledge.
And made
It's in the
people
public
aware of
domain.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't make this up. These are not my words. You guys wrote that. Then they like, we're getting threats and this and that. So we ended up
You
closing.
made your bed.
Yeah, we ended up closing because the landlord, he basically was like, he don't want to go to war with them. He's not going to fight. Basically, we got out, and we're taking it to Baltimore, where
You got a rough idea of when that's going to open?
we probably like this summer, late summer.
The Cray in Baltimore.
Yeah, the Crayon Baltimore.
And
So
we got a sauce on the way too.
we got the sauce.
Let's hear about that before we wrap this up.
Look, and we locking you in on it too. So this is our sauce right here, the carry out sauce, Mumbo, DC 100%. Tour coming soon. We're gonna work on these tour dates. Major cities. We're gonna have fun. Like, I feel like that's how
Give back
we
to
give
the community.
back. Yeah, I
Give
feel like that's how
good
we
food
give
to the
back.
people.
Give food to the people. The people are able to touch us, reach us, connect with us, communicate with us, and just have a good time. I'm gonna pass the sauce to Dan. See what Dan got to say.
No, I mean, again, this
And
is
I
the
tried it.
sauce.
It's great.
It's good, right?
And Dan
I mean,
from DC. I'm not from
I'm
DC.
from DC.
So
I mean, Mambo sauce was born out of carryouts. And if you ever been to a carryout, you get the container, you get the liner, you got the checkered liner. So again, we were really thoughtful in how we wanted to develop and present the brand and the logo. Yeah. We wanted to invoke positive emotion. We want people to get excited about it. We want the logo and the brand to align with the taste and the experience.
Yeah.
and that's
all
how
about
we
the
came
client
out.
experience.
And that's how we came out with the name.
Gluten free.
So
Only 12 grams of sugar. That's not bad.
Yo.
For my keto folks out there, it's not going to ruin your diet too crazy.
and how we came out with the name, we were all like trying to overthink it.
We were.
And then one night I just said, because my boy Wale, he was like, yo, it got to be something slick.
Yeah.
So I said, what can I do? I hit up Dan. I'm like, how you feel about the carry out? Because I'm
It's
like,
dope. The
And I was
logo
like-
is fly.
I was like, done. Let's
you
go.
got to think about it, because the carry out is universal.
right.
It's local. It's homegrown.
Yeah.
It's in the
Any
neighborhood.
hood got a carry out. And then the carry out box, like when you see that box, you know you got some fried chicken in there, French fries that you're going to throw
And the
mumbo
sauce.
Yeah. So
It's beautiful.
that was the thought behind it, just being slick.
I can't wait tomorrow. We're going to shoot some videos and
Yeah.
put that to use.
We're going to put it to use. We got one nice dish that's coming.
Looking forward to that. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
sir.
I appreciate you.
We'll do more of these, and look out for the tour. Look out for the Cray in Baltimore. Look out for Mambo Sauce or the Carry Out Mambo Sauce. We're trying to get it out soon. We don't got a release date yet, but
Yeah.
check the Instagram. What's your Instagram? Give everybody
Mr. Shafito, MrCheffito
on Instagram.
on Instagram.
Getting a YouTube channel started soon.
Getting the
I
YouTube.
heard.
We about to work with this guy, man. We gonna make it happen. And then on TikTok, I'm new to TikTok, Mr. Shafito too.
Go
but
blow
I
him
gotta-
up on TikTok.
Yeah, I
I
check
seen
out the
your
TikTok.
stuff with Danny Grubbs is dope. I like
Yeah,
how you
Danny
turn
Grubbs.
$20 into
Into a
something
co-
special.
We gotta do one together.
I like that. I want to do one. I actually talked to Danny. We might do one together soon.
Come on, let's
If we do
it.
the Mambo sauce, we'll give you the parking lot price too at the Mambo
I need
sauce.
it. I
We'll give you
need
the
that.
parking lot price.
All right, well,
I feel like we should throw like a secret ingredient the next time we do it.
let's do it.
So I'm gonna put us in a group
We
text.
was talking about doing a mystery box where I get the guys to go pick a bunch of random shit from the store, come back, and I just gotta make something.
You gotta make it happen.
Yeah,
it.
I like that.
Yo,
That's
here you
something
go.
we're gonna drop
Yeah,
soon.
come on.
But you guys will see him more. We'll do more of these. He'll probably doing a podcast again.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for the tour. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
This I had to make it happen. overnight, I can make it happen. I guess it's just my vibe.